Hi, so I chose to do option 2, which was to create a video learning tool with the detailed anatomy of the respiratory system. So this is what this video is, and yeah. So here I drew a picture of a witch since it is Halloween tomorrow. So yeah, we'll be taking a deep dive literally into the anatomy of the witch's nose. As you can see here, each color represents a different structure of the nose. The nostrils of the nose, also called the nares, are the openings into the nose. Inside that green section there is called the nasal cavity. There are 3 internal chambers of the nose. Where those 3 lines are, that is called the nasal conchae. It contains tissue folds that have blood vessels and mucus in order to help warm and moisten the air. This section here is called the superior. This right here is called the middle. And then at the bottom is called the inferior nasal conchae. There are also nasal meatus, which are air passageways between the conchae. Next, we'll be talking about the pharynx, and it's all that section in yellow. The function of the pharynx is that it carries air between nasal cavity and the larynx, and it contains tonsils for immune protection. The structure of the pharynx contains 3 sections. The first is called the nasopharynx. It is an air passageway. The second is called the oropharynx, and it is an air and food passageway. The third is called the laryngopharynx, and it's also an air and food passageway. Now we're going to be talking about the larynx, aka the voice box. Its functions are that it carries air between the pharynx and trachea. It also prevents food from entering the trachea as well, and also has sound protection too. Now we're going to be taking a deeper dive into the anatomy of the larynx. This is an anterior view of the larynx. The top portion in pink is called the epiglottis. It directs food and air and prevents choking. The section in the middle in purple is called the thyroid cartilage, also known as the Adam's apple. It surrounds the vocal cords. The section in blue is called the cricoid cartilage. It's at the very bottom and connects the larynx to the trachea. Here's a better view of what the larynx looks like. So the inside in the gray part is the trachea. The space right in between is called the glottis. It's the airway surrounding the larynx. The section right here is cartilage. And then right here on the pink, the really light pink, are the vocal cords. Those produce sound. Right at the bottom you can see the epiglottis. And then right here are the vestibular folds, which protect the airway from food. This section right here in that darker blue is called the trachea, also known as the windpipe. Its function is that it connects the larynx to the bronchial tree. Its structure is that towards the end it splits into right and left main bronchi at the distal end. As you can see in the picture, you can see that it splits. If you take a closer look at it, it has rigid tube-like structure with C-shaped rings. Those rings are made out of hyaline cartilage. The rings also help support the trachea as a passageway for airs to lungs. As you can see in the picture, it very much shows the rings and everything like that too. Now we'll be talking about the bronchial tree. The bronchial tree is a network of highly branched air tubes carrying air into deep lung tissues. There are overall 6 branches, but there are 3 main ones. The first one is called the main bronchi. It is in the right and left lung. It's the largest, and it carries air in and out of each lung. The second is the lobar bronchi. It forms when the main bronchi splits into each lobe of the lungs. There are 3 in the right lung and 2 in the left lung. The third is called the segmental bronchi. It is when the lobar bronchi branches. And yeah, these are the branches in the lobes. The bronchioles is continuations of the segmental bronchi. They are loose supportive cartilage, and they are when smooth muscle replaces skeletal muscle. Terminal bronchioles are the last branches of the air ducts that act solely as an air passageway. They contain smooth muscle and cilia, and they lose goblet cells. The bundle of orange circles at the bottom are the alveoli. They are macroscopic air sacs found on respiratory bronchioles and the ends of alveolar ducts. There are millions of these in each lung, and they are the main site for gas exchange.